We kick off with we celebrated this very month on the 1st of December, World AIDS Day, and each time that day comes through, GNL comes into the talks around every media and all that. What does that day speak to you?
We still have so many rates of high infections among young people, right?
Yeah.
So many people have passed. Are we celebrating their lives? Are we celebrating what we have done about it? Is it just a day for us to become more cognizant that this is something we have to deal with?
Yeah.
So when you use the word celebrate, I understand we commemorate or whatever that day, but it's always bittersweet knowing how many lives we have lost and how many we're still losing and how many people deal with HIV AIDS in Uganda. So that day, for me, is the day that people play Story ya Luka. Mberanga Mariah Carey mu Christmas, except that for me it's on a sad note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Story ya Luka. How did you receive its impact? Like, that's the track everyone around is like, man, when that track comes through, it speaks to me, even when they are not the victims, but the message in it. How did you receive the impact of that song, personally?
So for that song, it's not even a double-edged sword. I think if a samurai were to hold 4 swords, right?
Yeah.
You'd say it's a double-edged sword in each hand, right?
Yeah.
So you have building awareness about the disease on one side.
Yeah.
You have encouraging safe sex practice.
Yeah.
And abstinence.
Yeah.
On one side, you have reducing stigmatization for the people who have the HIV. It doesn't mean a death sentence.
Yeah.
We have learned that there's so much medication, and if you eat well, take good care of yourself, you can live for as long as God intended you to. Just like you see people like Magic Johnson, he was diagnosed with AIDS in the 80s.
Yeah. Very
Very healthy, became a billionaire, and then be a star.
Yeah.
He's still making moves in business, and his life is, at least from what we can tell, he's lived a very full and fulfilling life. So all of these things, Story ya Luka is not just a story to scare you, but it's meant to scare you, but also educate you, encourage you, and also educate society that it's up to you to actually care for your brother, your sister, your uncle, your cousin going through a traumatic situation like that. You shouldn't exacerbate it. Don't be pointing the fingers,
Yeah.
So Story ya Luka is not just, it's a story with so many angles, and in its design it's meant for creating empathy.
Yeah.
Not just sympathy, but empathy for humanity. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're a philosopher and you read a lot.
Philosopher. Philosopher. Nemumpana wana magaimwe. Chogamba ninga Socrates over Plato.
But you even speak about it in your tracks. You're the one who tells us.
Ate nembagamba nti abo bonna bobateeka mu toto kati ye Zamba. Ne Confucius muteeke mo by Epictetus.
Yeah.
Most of people just know about 2 philosophers, but first we can go on. Even in Africa, Zambaland, Nsimbi, Tulye, Lupiazitta.
Yeah, sure thing.
Kanyonyonto, the first of his name.
Let him know.
Yeah,
as a philosopher, and I know you read a lot. I don't know how authentic it is. There was a doctor, who had a cure for the disease. And I was like, yo.
I feel like on some very slippery slope right now into conspiracy theory territory.
We could say, but
you leading me there?
We could speak about it as a conspiracy theory. But
okay, to all my fellow conspiracy theorists out there, eyes, my ears,
Yeah.
So there's, in the black community, there's a doctor called Dr. Sebi. I mentioned him also on the Spear album.
Yeah.
So Dr. Sebi is one of those like natural healers, right?
Yeah.
And he heals people through food. Actually, speaking about philosophy and all these other things, I forget if it's Socrates or Aristotle who said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. Like you can heal yourself, that the body has the ability to regenerate itself and heal itself through natural remedies, right? And the natural remedies that are there for us are our food and our herbs. You eat well and take care of the body well, the body will take care of you. You get me? It's essence. So it's the same philosophy that Dr. Sebi used, right? So this gentleman cured so many things, and in the black communities, like our how do I put it, if you take Chinese medicine, African medicine, and like indigenous medicine combined into something holistic, you get a Dr. Sebi. So Dr. Sebi, people came up to Dr. Sebi and were telling him about AIDS, right? So he also had this theory that everything about disease in the body comes from, I don't know, he said, I hate to butcher his message, but he talked about mucus and how the mucus build up, like kind of creates the disease. Disease meaning disease. You're not easy. You're not at ease as you're supposed to be. So long story short, Dr. Sebi was sued for saying that he cured SIDA, he cured AIDS, right? And he's like, hey, okay, take me to court. So they took him to court. So they took this dude to court, and when they took him to court, they told him to produce evidence. And he brought people. You know, like he brought people who said, I had it. Like, where's the test? Where's the evidence that you had it? Here, I was HIV positive. And here's the evidence you don't have it. Test me, negative. They're like, ah! So he brought evidence against the court and won, and actually won. So here's where the conspiracy theorists come in. Everybody who has had, who has tried to uncover that story, right, has ended up in hot water. Anybody, so Nick Cannon came here. He even came to Uganda, by the way. People don't know. Nick Cannon came to Uganda because he was looking for some of Dr. Sebi's recipes that are African. And he came out here trying to do a documentary about Dr. Sebi. That documentary has never seen the light of day. Nick Cannon, where's that doc? You get me? Where is that documentary? So another person who was also killed very early. Matter of fact, I should just knock on wood. Talking about these things, they might start looking for a G. So Nipsey Hussle. Actually, Nick Cannon picked up from Nipsey Hussle because Dr. Sebi, Nipsey Hussle as a lover of like African people and his community, really respected Dr. Sebi's recipes and message, right? So he wanted to make this documentary and highlight that this guy cured SIDA, he has cured so many other diseases just using food and natural remedies. The drug companies don't like hearing that. They like to keep you sick and just give you things to, you know, like a little sustenance here and there, but not like really cure, heal, and go back to the indigenous ways of curing things. Because if you boil shit down, like really, all this medicine that we take, is my coffee here? Please bring it. Coffee is here. Don't be ashamed. Coffee is natural.
Drop that $20 too.
That $20 should, we'll sort that out. So, all the medicine, right? That is in a pill. So many people don't know this. And the reason that I point this out is because some people were told to draw a chicken and they drew a drumstick. Some people have never like really seen a live rooster or a live chicken. So, thank you, sir. You're doing a very good service for humanity, delivering this coffee. So, when you boil down all the world's medicine, it comes from forests, right? Our company is called Babone Forest for a reason. We believe in ecosystems being self-sustaining, and part of our sustenance comes from these natural herbs. When we get sick, we get all our healing from forests. So drug companies have places like the Amazon, you know, where they get these natural remedies to process them into these pills. But I don't know if so many people are aware that the pills they are taking are actually developed from indigenous knowledge that has been in indigenous communities to actually come up with like say Panadol, Tylenol, those paracetamols. This knowledge has always been around. Africans were biting roots. Whenever he had a headache, goes, finds a tree, bites a root, and he extracts that naturally into his system. It would ease whatever is ailing him, right?
Yeah.
So it's not so far removed that this knowledge that is traditional, most drug companies would like to keep most people in the dark about it.
Yeah.
So creating documentaries like Dr. Sebi, or sitting alternatives like in Chinese medicine, or all this holistic medicine of you can do yoga and nurse your body back to life, you can exercise. All these are not like, drug companies want to sell more drugs to you.
Yeah.
If you don't believe that this story is real, there is a drug that was killing people in the US, right?
Yeah.
Oxycontin. But there was a drug company called Purdue, which was like so hell-bent in pushing this out like it was giving candy to babies. But people were dying.
Yeah.
So some people only care about the profit margin and they will waste you. So
yeah,
people like Nipsey, according to conspiracy theorists, were wasted or died and set up. It looks like a drug. It looks like Nipsey died in his driveway off of some black-on-black violence, but the depth might be that this was a very enlightened man who wanted to bring the light of Dr. Sebi's message to the masses, and that's why he was taken out. Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go. I guess this will also be added to the conspiracy, theory. Yeah. So, Sean Paul recently pulled up on the Tanzania.
Hey, love me some Sean Paul, man. I grew up on Sean Paul. What's good?
Yeah, and this journalist was asking him questions like, he started with, "Do you know Diamond Platnumz?" He was like, "No."
Yeah.
I don't know Diamond Platnumz. "Do you know Bongo Flava?" He was like, "No, but I'm up for, will you collaborate with these guys?" And, but for some reason, it feels like whenever we talk about being international, somebody international comes through and is like, "No, I don't know that." So I don't know. What would that mean to, like, let's say, there was another story, but we'll get into it after your explanation. So, of course, Diamond Platnumz, who has a song with Jason Derulo.
The coffee is amazing. Let me first remark that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of that? Is it a must that when you're international, and an international artist like Sean Paul comes through and they're like, "No, I've never heard of, so and so." What does that mean?
It doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean shit if Sean Paul knows Diamond Platnumz or not.
Yeah.
I don't know why Africans are so, like, why the self-esteem guy like, it's so disappointing, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at something online yesterday where a doctor was explaining that the African Americans have a lot of they have a lot of confidence, but very little self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
And then the Africans have a lot of self-esteem, but very little confidence.
Yeah.
So he was talking about how in African-American communities that have been damaged by systemic racism, where dads are taken away from homes, single mothers take care of these kids and then they cannot keep up because they're never at home. You're kind of raised in an absentee parent neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Or kind of scenario. So it kind of affects your self-esteem, and also the messages that have been designed through Western media to keep a black people down. Like, you're not beautiful, you're lazy, you're not hardworking. Also the denial of opportunities, which is glaring, leads to like a low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Although people have a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
What difference are?
Yeah.
So their confidence comes that they are working through a world market, which is global. It's America.
Yeah.
I live in the toughest neighborhood, but bruh, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
So that's why you get things like black is beautiful, black excellence, you get all of these messages, and the people that transcend all these hurdles that have been put in front of them gain a lot of confidence out of that. Even hip-hop itself is like affirmation, self-expression, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're not seeing anything around you, it's like you become an alchemist with your words and you create something out of that. You create gold out of that. So there's a lot of confidence there.
Yeah.
turn to the African. Grew up, both parents are there. You get me?
Yeah.
So they have a lot of self-esteem. They're encouraging them. Yes, you're a hunter. Your name comes from like ancestors that have been conquerors, that have developed medicine, spirituality. We have given the world like so much technology, even though they don't see us. This is what we have contributed to the world. We are the original man. So that's the African.
Yeah.
So he's raised with a lot of self-esteem, a lot of love. But his skills have not been tested on the world market.
Yeah.
Yeah. The American has been tested through a furnace. You get me? But there's low self-esteem. The low self-esteem is there because of these. You know, why wasn't dad around? Wasn't mom around? Why is my society? Why does the country I love not love me back? You get me? Well, the African has all this love. He's grown up. You know, he's like, I wouldn't say pampered, but growing up in these microcosms where it has not been tested on the world stage. You get me?
Yeah.
So because we are not being tested on the world stage, we always seek validation from outsiders to see if we are really good, which is like kind of stupid.
Yeah.
The Nigerians have kind of escaped that. Like Thames doesn't need Rihanna to tell her, okay, Thames likes Rihanna.
Yeah.
But like a Thames does not need the validation of like, say, Dolly Parton. If Dolly Parton says, I don't know Thames, does that mean Thames is not a great songwriter? You get what I'm saying, right? So if Sean Paul, right, doesn't know Diamond Platinums, and it wasn't that, I don't think he meant it as a slight to Diamond Platinums, but yeah, there's so many amazing artists in France that I don't know about. Does that take anything away from them?
No.
It's the same way that we look at how much money we earn in Africa. Imagine, okay, let me give an example of Diamond Platinums besides GNL. Okay. If I make money from Kenya, and I make money in Uganda, and I cross over to Rwanda and make money, and I cross over to Tanzania and make money, South Sudan books me and I make money, I'm a fucking international artist. What the fuck are you talking about? International means more than one country.
Yeah.
And the territory I'm describing is way bigger than Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, bigger than some sections of like Norway, Sweden, Denmark. The dollar is the same. It weighs the same. How much a Diamond Platinum concert in UG or in Tanzania?
I may not be certain of the real figure, but it's quite a lot.
Okay, let's say $15, $20.
Yeah.
That's the price some people pay for shows outside of here.
Yeah.
So like I said, the confidence.
Yeah.
If I mind low, okay, you're just switching it. Yeah. And I also always look at it when I say, every time I mention that GNL is an international artist, some journalists really have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes out of hate or the insecurity.
Yeah.
But they always seek a validation that some other person out there has to first come and tell them GNL is international. But if I've earned awards on international stages, if I've earned dollars, if I've earned pounds, if I've earned rands, it's my talent that has taken me all over the world. Yeah. Whether it's in music, whether it's my pen, writing, film, or TV, whether I'm writing skits, right? If I'm just giving a speech, or I'm teaching in a university, I'm an invited guest to give a speech, right? I'm an international person.
Yeah.
But that lock is still ekuchaliko kufuru nene nnyo ku bwongo bw'abantu. Kati ekya Sean Paul butamanya Diamond Platinum has made news all over. Like, who gives a fuck?
Diamond Platinum.
And I love Sean Paul. Like I told you, I grew up on Sean Paul. Deport them,
yeah.
Give me the light. Like, come on.
We make it clap.
Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Diamond Platinum's posted a picture with money all over him. You know, I think that was a message to the, because, you know, us here, when it comes to Africa, it's your people will be like, yo, you told us we're international. Big homie didn't know you. You lied to us.
Homie doesn't know you. It's like, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of that.
Yeah.
I grew up in a ghetto of Kawempe. Ghetto meaning house on top of house. Yeah? Someone told me omunye in like South African terms. Humanity on top of humanity. Yeah. So we're like in very cramped quarters, right? But if someone educated their children, like so many people I grew up with became school dropouts, right?
Yeah.
Few of us made it to college and university. School fees was very expensive. Some people dropped out because there was abuse. Some people dropped out because the only examples they saw were of taxi drivers and the conductor was making much money. You get me?
Yeah.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
But some of us who got the exposure to go to like very good schools or schools where we mixed with so many other people, got the encouragement where iron sharpened iron, we ended up in uni, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I first made it to Makerere, it's like this very prestigious hill where the university was on top of the hill.
Yeah.
Actually, they call it the University of the Land. One of the reasons people were talking about President Museveni has beef with Makerere because he did not go there, it's because they believe, their president should have learned from this other university and not this other one. Not taking into account that maybe he wanted political science and political science was more developed in Dodoma than it was in Makerere. But long story long, Makerere was the place of prestige. Every president nearly from Africa wanted to study in Makerere because it was the center of academic excellence.
Yeah.
It's the Harvard of East Africa.
Yeah.
East and Central Africa, this is the Harvard. So when I made it there, right?
Yeah.
My mother was proud. She was walking on air. You get me?
Yeah.
My dad was like, okay, my third child has also made it there. You get me? So it was a moment of pride. But once in a while, whenever I would be strolling through my location of Jinja Kalori, Kawempe, Chitegere, Yonkere, there would come a woman who would be like, oh, I also have a cousin who studies from Makerere, or a niece, or a nephew. And it's like, do you know so-and-so? They would mention a name. And I would be like, I don't know what to say because in the context, I don't know what context she understands Makerere as. Whatever story, Jagenda.
Yeah.
So, this is a school, by the time I studied, I think we're talking about 10,000 students. You get me?
Yeah.
Day shift, night shift. How would I know all of these people by name?
Yeah.
I barely even knew the people who were in my high school, which was like 1,000 pupils in Chira College Boutique, right?
Yeah.
So it's in the same context. Now, but that woman asking that question reminds me of so many Africans where they struggle with the word international. I think the word is too big, maybe it sounds too fancy for them, yet for us it has become too ordinary.
Yeah.
Let me explain now. In the context of that woman thinking about Makerere, she thinks Makerere is like a classroom where everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
But Makerere has faculties, like halls, like very different people doing very different things, pursuing very different walks of life.
Yeah.
They don't know each other. A few people know each other, different cliques, cross paths, you get me? But if a person is not in your circle, you're probably never going to meet them.
True.
If they're not doing the same course unit. So let's now compare that example to what it means to be international.
Yeah.
Sean Paul is from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Does dancehall music.
Yeah.
He's a crossover artist that made it to the US.
Yeah.
Now, Sean Paul's generation is older than my generation.
Yeah.
But I grew up listening to Sean Paul. Between Sean Paul and Shaggy is another generation.
Yeah.
Between Sean Paul, Shaggy, and Shaba is another generation with Bounty Killer. It's another generation. Bob Marley, another generation. This is just Jamaica.
Yeah.
Now, there are international acts of the same rank and ilk from Francophone countries, like there are people that speak French, who Ugandans have never heard about. The Stromaes, you hear Stromae, Jaffa Nkoli, you get me?
Yeah.
MC Solar. Like, all these people are international.
Yeah.
Does Sean Paul know every artist that exists? The world has how many countries? 169 over 200. Swimanyi.
Yeah.
Bro, Sean Paul is not the greatest genius in the world. Tell you how to know Yemugeze nyo.
Yeah.
He cannot know every artist in Brazil and from every nook and cranny of this beautiful planet that we live on.
Yeah.
This boy makes very beautiful music from, what do they call it? Tarab. Mixes a little Congolese rumba in there. Excellent dancer, excellent performer. Did a song with Jason Derulo. He's breaking borders. He's making millions of dollars. Who the fuck? He gives a fuck 1,000 times if Sean Paul knows him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But again, for me, it's all about the love.
Yeah.
whether they know each other or not, I'm just trying to say that it doesn't make any sense unless you're a person who has a lot of insecurities and low self-esteem or low confidence, looking for validation from outsiders to tell you that whoever is from your place is special. It's the same way Jesus wasn't respected in his homeland. Or seldom is a prophet respected in their homeland. They first wait for the people from Galilee, Misiri, wherever he preached, to come and tell them, by the way, the guy from your town is international. Then they're like, What you get, eh?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, crossing over to Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
He surprisingly dropped an album.
Yeah.
He dropped an album. What did you make of that album, if at all you got it to it?
Baby, I'm shooting. I'm shooting.
My car key? Do you have my car key?
Your car key? Do I have it? Okay, let me check. Damn, I must have taken my woman's car key. Too many cars in the neighborhood. No, like too many cars in the compound. Yeah, but she has to pick up my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's finish this question so that we can get to that.
Yeah, so Kendrick Lamar dropped, an
GNX.
album. Yeah, GNX.
Oyagala kugamba waawo GNL. Ngati yakimazeeyo bulungi kubagambye GNX, check ategeeza GNL is next.
I guess. How did you receive that album though? What did you...
Whoa, kati gwe tomanyi, you don't know. I don't even know how to describe this sweetness. Obuwomi obukirimu, I don't even know as a... So this thing has layers, right?
Yeah.
As a West Coaster,
yeah,
this album is a classic.
Yeah.
It also goes to speak to the genius of K. Dot. Gafe we tumuita abewaka.
Yeah.
Our cousin. He's from Compton, and the sound that he chose, right?
Yeah.
For long, the throne of greatness has been in the South.
Yeah.
The sound has been going to the South. Even New Yorkers were sounding like Southerners.
Yeah.
This boy single-handedly has carried the whole coast on his back, and he's like, this is the new sound that you're going to be dancing to. And it began with, not like, what was that? Not Euphoria. Euphoria was not danceable. The West Coast sound.
Not like us.
Not like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you hear that sound and although you want it or not, you have to dust off your chucks a little bit and creep walk. That's a very West Coast thing to do.
Yeah.
So when the boy dropped, right, I understand the genius in Kendrick Lamar. It's like he knows I'm performing at the Super Bowl. These people need something to talk about here.
Yeah.
And the media landscape has been so empty. Only Future dropped, and I think Anderson .Paak also had something.
Yeah.
Her label mate had also just dropped Doichi, who's the new chick, Fire.
Yeah.
So, it's a surprise album, GNX. GNX is the Grand National motorcar, which take it. So, he has given the West Coast, now West Coasters can walk with their head up high.
Yeah.
New York Katieta in a crowd. There's no one there.
Yeah.
Diddy can't save you. I'm sorry. Or even on this side, Snoop got jealous and tweeted, what was his name? Snoop oyo mulaba mwebi tuli bingi nnyo. As a rapper, okay, he's Uncle Snoop, the big dog. You get me? But Snoop also has some things where he says, some things that he does, and sometimes you're like, but why would a West Coaster tweet Drake's song when a West Coast artist is having beef with the Northerners? You're supposed to be big cars. These kids call you uncle. So when on Worked Out Murals, Kendrick says, when I saw Snoop posting Tyler Made, I thought it was, man, maybe he has taken too many edibles, which was actually funny. It's a shot, but it's also more like bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm bringing the West back.
Yeah.
You passed me the torch recently.
Yeah.
But Snoop tweeted in a playful way, he's like, bro, cars, West Side all the way, it was the edibles. He gave him a way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen also some comments from Ice Cube. These are like former West Coast kings, right?
Yeah.
Even Ice Cube was like, I'm the new Kendrick. Like, nah, Kendrick is Kendrick. Although Ice Cube began all of this, to give all the respect due, Ice-T, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, NWA, to Malayone, what? Actually, NWA came before Snoop, but whatever, let's say, Ice-T, NWA, Ice Cube, Snoop and Dre, Daz and the Dog Pound.
Yeah.
I've missed out others. Well, your E40, but all those are Too Short. All these are West Coast legends. I'm talking West Coast music. So the people who don't understand the sound of this album,
yeah,
you do not understand the new landscape. Like Kendrick Lamar, single-handedly, has created a rap album which TikTokers are going crazy over.
Yeah.
He gave you sound bites which he knows. Mustard! Every time you're putting tomato sauce now on your bread, whenever mustard comes on, you're going to be screaming that. The memes have been crazy. So he has played the meme game he's beating Drake at his own game. Drake is the king of the internet. He's like, hey, this time I'm not going to kill you with punchlines and double entendres. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to go to a producer who I know you hate to give me all the bops I need to bring a West Coast sound back. And that's what he gave you.
Yeah, so don't you think this takes us back to the situation Jigga talked about at some point when he said that, 50 Cent is coming. It's a whole new wave that is coming, so, all the rest of the guys should put out music and just flood it, because when 50 Cent comes through,
yeah,
you're gonna have to sit back. Is it the same situation with Kendrick right now compared to the other rappers?
I think Kendrick, by dropping a surprise album, was avoiding that very situation.
Yeah. Because
one part of the reason why Drake has beef with Kanye West is that Drake, when he speaks to people, I think I'm more Drake a little. I'm more Kendrick, but sometimes you trust people with information and you're like, I think we are among homies, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to realize that some of your homies are actually fucking snakes.
Yeah.
So Drake was one time talking to Kanye, who was his neighbor. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, you know how life is nowadays. I'm trying to figure out this whole thing. I'm a new dad. Kanye West nakawulira. It's like, so Kanye is like, man, I need to do a beat for you, right? I want to produce for you something dope. He has given him beats before. By the way, some beats that are Drake's have been produced by year before, right? But this is a very competitive sport. So Kanye, because it's very competitive, this time his competitiveness got over the friendship and also standing on principles.
Yeah.
So he asks Drake, man, I know what you're going through. For me to be able to give you some dope-ass beats, you need to tell me what's your plan for next year. When are you dropping?
Yeah.
Man, boy is like, man, I'm planning to drop like summertime and whatever. When Kanye had that, guess what Kanye did? Kanye na yali more snake. Kanye went and got Nas. He got, what was that name of that chick who was on his label? The beautiful one, the dancer.
Tyler,
yeah. Got Big Sean. He got all of these artists on his label, even Pusha. Yeah. He got all the artists on his labels to drop music and flood the whole area. So it's not only Jigga who thinks like that of 50 Cent is coming, flood the market.
Yeah.
I even saw Ugandan artists, whenever I said I was dropping something, but they also tried to flood. Nigga, you can't flood G. You're a pawn to an ocean.
That's for
you
sure.
Can't flood me. Matter of fact, I'll put out a joint in Zambuli Powesa. Do you know what Powesa is? Powesa ye made mama bwaba fumbira abana if a mother is cooking for kids, right?
Yeah.
And the food is taking so long to get ready, the food for adults. She prepares like a little meal or like food that she even puts on top that gets ready through steam and gives it to the kids so that they can hold on longer for the full meal. That's what they call powesa. Yeah. So sometimes I drop these powesas and I see people running and panting. Like, G, you can't flood G. Like, you know me. You don't play such kiddish games with G. You're a pond, I'm an ocean. So here we go again.
Yeah.
So for Kendrick to drop an album, surprise, he knows exactly these people are waiting for. When is he going to drop an album? Because we knew an album was dropping before the Super Bowl moment.
Yeah.
And so he gave us a surprise. Tiger, I'm flooding, Bombo, you flooded the in. No. Surprise album. Hey guys, while you were sleeping, I dropped.
So do you think it got Lil Wayne emotional? It keeps poking on, because of the Super Bowl, the whole Super Bowl situation. Lil Wayne was like, "What the F I do?" It's like he was screaming like, "Yo,
Yeah.
they keep coming for my head. You should let this be slit." Because he promised he will eat. What do you think about Lil Wayne, and Kendrick? Like, if they were to go at it, because I would say rumor has it, but Joe Biden was on his podcast and he was like, the word out is a call was made to Kendrick, K-Dot, and it didn't pick up. And somebody went to the booth.
Yeah. If I'm to think about it,
does it even make sense for Lil Wayne to be at K-Dot?
I don't know
like
if
that?
Lil Wayne went to the booth, but I know Lil Wayne could hastily go to the booth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, hold on.
The Kendrick and Lil Wayne, do you think it was necessary for Lil Wayne to, be taken all about when Kendrick mentioned him in a track? Could he have just considered it as just a track, or, you're coming at me because that's what he claimed?
So one of Lil Wayne's girlfriends revealed something to us. I don't know if it's believable or not, but from my artist experience, I can tell you. Excuse me. Oh shit. Okay. I'm having a cold. Sorry. I think you can tell from the voice. One of Lil Wayne's girlfriends revealed that Wayne lives in Wayne's world, right? And Wayne is a very smart person. When you listen to his lyrics, those lyrics cannot be crafted by an idiot, right?
Yeah.
But also, I know from an artist's perspective what it means to live in your own world. Actually, his girlfriend called it Wayne's world, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's Wayne's world, and I say I relate because sometimes I also live in Zambaland.
Yeah.
And it's like a place in your mind, right, where you can escape the day-to-day goings of this reality that people live in, which take care. But for me, luckily, I have people who always pull me back. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And whether it's my parents, whether it's my team, things like that.
Yeah.
But for Lil Wayne, he functions better living in Wayne's world.
Yeah.
And in Wayne's world, someone the other time was talking about, his girlfriend was talking about, I think he made a controversial statement about presidency. I don't know if it was about Trump or it was about slavery. He usually has statements that he speaks and you're like, huh? But you know, right?
Yeah. Racism as well, if I could remember.
You're talking at two, Kayo. I'm just trying to peel back the layers to explain Lil Wayne's psychosis, basically. When you take it, how we are being told his world is like. So Lil Wayne wakes up in the morning, rhymes, records, plays guitar, does a skateboard, right?
Yeah.
Goes back to studio. Or goes to a basketball game, does something. What you take it? It's Wayne's world basically, and everything, everybody who works around him is there to make sure that he's comfortable.
Yeah.
So that Wayne's world has become dangerous for him in a way that you can tell that Wayne doesn't look the healthiest.
Yeah.
For his age. I don't know if it's me or it's just his personal choice. Now Lil Wayne's hair. But you to know that, I don't know. Whichever, eh?
Yeah.
The other, J. Cole's hair is the same, but J. Cole Lavanga is, he could go play basketball one-on-one with you, but can Wayne sustain a game? All I'm saying is that if you've been smoking every day, drinking every day, and there's no one to tell you wrong from right, sometimes as men we need to be jolted back into reality, right?
Yeah.
I think Wayne has lived so much in that world that even when he lost the Super Bowl, right? When he thought the Super Bowl coming to New Orleans automatically had to be him, he forgot, the reality escaped him that just because the Super Bowl is in your state doesn't mean that an artist from New Orleans has to perform. There have been several times when the Super Bowl has happened in so many other places without an artist from that state performing, right?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of entitlement there, which again means Wayne's world. But people like Usher have to put in work, even Bruno Mars, even Beyonce had to put in work in order to get the Super Bowl. I mean, this is Beyonce. And this is Rihanna. All of them had to do work. And work means if you're not on the top of your game or your prime, people have not been seeing you in interviews, people have not been seeing you dropping new music, people have not been seeing you at fashion shows. Basically, Wayne hasn't been Wayne for a while, right? And probably because of these labor problems, which again, if you live in Wayne's world, you're not talking to your accountants. So baby can steal your money.
Yeah.
Or baby can take his time, and let's not say steal. So baby can take his time to pay you, right? But the problems with young money artists and their finances after they leave the label, and no secret that people that people have been talking about how baby has been a little bit reluctant to pay his artists out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember the incident with Rick Ross talking about how Baby did not pay Khalid, which was public. This is not me.
Yeah.
And so many other artists have left the label with label problems, which is when Drake said, you get down and give me 50, implying that that Kendrick Lamar and his manager split 50-50 for everything. Kendrick Lamar was like, wait, hold on. You who is signed to that nigga and signed to that nigga who is signed to that nigga, you're the one talking to me. He's like, let's bring our books and see how we all bust it down.
Yeah.
And we all know Drake is signed to this guy, who is signed to that guy, who is also signed to that guy. So Wayne, Baby, Rapper Lot Records, there's so many people in Drake's pockets.
Yeah.
Until he went, he's almost independent now. But there are so many people in his pockets.
Yeah.
I say all of this to say, from how we see how calculative Kendrick Lamar is, right? I think even the greatness of Lil Wayne, if it's not polished, Kendrick Lamar will eat Lil Wayne alive.
Say that again.
Kendrick Lamar will eat Lil Wayne alive. If a rap battle were to happen right now, he'll eat him alive. Let me put it this way. Kendrick Lamar's whole spiel has been that you guys make music to just enrich yourselves. You don't have a code for morals, right? Now, with what I've told you about Lil Wayne's life, Lil Wayne is, how many baby mamas does Lil Wayne have? You get me? As a man, how many baby mamas do you have? So Wayne loves his daughter, loves his what? But there's a video that floated where Wayne almost passed his daughter. Kaliko internet. I'm not saying it's like Drake, but Wayne has many baby mamas, right? And he's not going to just break him down as an artist, but he's going to break him down as a man. That Wayne, at his age, it seems like his mother still has to hold his hand through life, or he still needs Baby to hold his hand out through life. And if Lil Wayne's drinking lean, Lil Wayne which is a drink, which has proven to be detrimental. It's like cough syrup mixed with Sprite. It has proven to be detrimental to people. Gucci Mane and all these other people have left it because of its unhealthy toll. Yes. So if you smoke, drink a lot of lean, and this is how you present yourself to the world, or your children, right? The dreadlocks don't look the best, you know. Like lyrically, you're representing, you're respected, you are top 5, one of the top 5 artists in hip hop to ever make it. You have, like, he has a line where he says, when you look at everybody with face tats and dreadlocks, I'm the apex predator, I'm the apex. You mean, you all replicate me. Like the new era has replicated Lil Wayne. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
But would you want to live Lil Wayne's life right now? Would you?
The way he dresses, nah.
Really is on point. But you Ochilaba, like from the way the hair is looking, like you want a more clean look. Maybe he's going for a rock star look, but from the looks of things, even in terms of dependability, people would say, oh, Wayne wouldn't show up for practice, wouldn't show up. Like, I don't know if it's real or correct, but from such statements could cost you a credible organization like the NFL, putting you into consideration to be its headline artist, because these people rehearse for a year. And, bruh, Kendrick would eat Lil Wayne alive off of you are the quintessential picture of a wasted or lost black man. First of all, you don't believe racism exists, which is denial. Even if that police officer saved your life, right? You can't ignore the systemic racism around all your people and the stories that they have been portraying to you. Yes, you live in Wayne's world, but there's a real world out there. For example, where Lil Wayne lives during Hurricane Katrina and all, people drowned. And the police helicopters were saving more white people, and black people were stuck on the roofs. They saved more cats and dogs than they saved black people on the ground. So that's a fact. So even if this police officer saved your life and he was a white dude, yes, but by the way, systemic racism is different from the racism of, you might find more black people and white people who work with each other more than how the system is designed to fail a certain community or prioritize a certain color over this. So when you find your way in making irresponsible statements on TV, like he was on the All Lives Matter thing. When people were saying Black Lives Matter, he was on the All Lives Matter movement. Look for all this footage, it's all there. And if the NFL is trying to clean up its image after what happened to Colin Kaepernick and be on the side of like being pro-black and using people like Jay-Z to curate the whole thing, Kendrick obviously takes. I mean, even Lil Wayne's performances, I don't know if I'm just speaking for me now, right? When I look at the Kendrick Lamar performance, I'm entertained. It's like theater, history, philosophy, art. You get me? It makes me wonder, why are these men dancing while stomping their feet? Oh, that's a black dance, which was like in historically black colleges, HBCUs. It's the way that they dance and stomp the yard. It's like, you get me? There's always context and painting a beautiful black picture when I juxtapose Kendrick Lamar with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, yes, you can make as much money as you want, but at the end of the day, are you fulfilled as a human being? Who am I to even ask such a question? But I know what it feels like to be trapped in the life of drugs and not being there for your family, sacrificing a lot of your time and hard work into chasing the things that money brings and fame, prioritizing your career over your family. And at the end of the day, when you're something like 60, 50, and your kids can't even look you in the face, it's like the DMX story, right? It's a sad story, but they made up at least in the end. The dad and son made up in the end. But there was a time when DMX told his son, only come to my funeral. Remember that? Did you
I remember. I saw that.
I'm not saying this is a picture of the Lil Wayne story, but these are two juxtaposed positions where this guy is telling you, me and my wife, you go see us in this Not Like Us video, and she's going to be still walking with me. The cover is me with a gun on my back, showing you that I'm in a ghetto, but the mother of my kids, we are together in this fight. So one picture shows the side of hip-hop which is self-destructive, and one side is a black savior of hip-hop telling you this is a good kid in a mad city story, right? But this is what we can do for all of us to rise, and I'm with you, my people. So to me, seeing how Kendrick dissects things and the layers he can peel back something, we've seen what he did in the Gram, when it was, what was that song? Meet the Grams. What he did to Drake in that dark beats, And I'm now, like, fuck all your money, fuck all your everything and accolades that you've achieved. Now let me see you as a man without any clothes. Take off the Gucci, take off the whatever. And what do you have in the end? A bitch. You get me? So when Kendrick Lamar begins peeling back all those layers, like, remember when Lil Wayne kissed Baby?
Yeah.
Imagine if he uses that as the cover art.
That would be crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. And also added to the fact, I know, Lil Wayne has never won a rap battle. People don't know this. Lil Wayne has very beautiful punchlines, metaphors, and everything. The flow is crazy. But everyone he has tried to diss or go against in his whole career, Lil Wayne has lost.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne battled Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid was coming with bars. They gave over $100 million worth of game.
Yeah.
He came at him with bars. All Lil Wayne had to say was, I don't have time to waste with Gilly the Squid, Willie the Squid. That's weak. You get me? That's weak. Wayne went with Pusha T. Pusha T. By the way, people don't know that this beef between Drake and Pusha T, Drake and all these other guys, there's a history there. So Pusha T's beef came from, they used to wear a clothing line called Bep.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne begins wearing Bep too. But in wearing the Bep thing, he does an interview in The Source, and he seemed to be throwing shade at these two guys, the clips, which was Pusha T and his brother.
Yeah.
So these guys do a song with Pharrell called Mr. Me Too. You see us wearing this, you also buy it and wear it. I think I should also do a Mr. Me Too in Uganda.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting too Me Too'd. You get me? Like, I release a song, somebody... Oh, by the way, I remember I did a freestyle. Oh yeah, I was talking about SUVs. Then some other lackluster rapper also. Now, I'm also SUVs. I release a song where I'm saying I'm tired of flights.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, even with my freedom of movement, now I'm hearing, I also, like, nobody is competing. Nigga, you're in the shadows fighting my shadow. You're saying here, I'm not even. Mr. Me Too. When GNL releases a freestyle, niggas also release a freestyle. You're like, when was the last time this guy released the freestyle? Again? GNL wears rings with a map of Africa. Maybe it's a revival. Anyway, if we're about to take out Kopebwa, we are blueprints. Well, what we're supposed to do, that's what you're supposed to do. Take it. So even if we Me Too you, that's... So, long story long, Pusha T bodies Lil Wayne again.
Yeah.
So, even Eminem, there was a time they were going back and forth. We all subliminal Zao. And when they met on their song, what song was that?
No Love.
It was amazing. Lil Wayne showed up. Eminem was like, hey, this is what we're doing. He also showed up. But on the song, it also sounded like Eminem was trying to, or even on the song, I was saying, right now they're good, but
yeah,
I'm just showing you the context, because I'm a battle rap fan. Actually, in this room, I think we're two very like hardcore battle rap fans where we like the art of taking information about people and dissecting them to the very, very last digit, just to show them that they couldn't have never fucked with you.
Yeah.
Because before their grandfathers even ever thought that they would exist, we had that thought that they were coming, and your DNA is inferior to mine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before I get into
this is greatness.
Before I get into the Drake suing UMG over Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us,"
yes.
What do you think? Have you heard of any new rappers' music, like hip hop artists right now? What do you think about their creativity when it comes to lyrical delivery? You as the OG.
I think bars are back. And thank Kendrick Lamar for that.
Yeah.
Bars are back.
Okay.
Bars are back, man. Now, remember before we're dealing with people who are like, and the niggas who don't know hip hop are like, that is cool. You know, there's the people who have a crowd mentality that when other people say something is cool, they are afraid to say, man, that shit is whack.
Yeah.
But again, this is what is cool, it's what is new. And you're like, but at the end of the day, when these people go on tour and get their concerts flop,
yeah,
And yet LL Cool J is still filling stadiums. Kendrick did a world tour, filled stadiums.
50.
J. Cole is always filling Dreamville. 50 did a world tour and is still selling out.
Yeah.
But for you're flopping.
Yeah.
Which say, because you can't fool people for so long.
Yeah.
Actually, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway, we all enjoy what we enjoy. But at the end of the day, I think the commercial value of hip hop and its facets in its way where it's rooted in its reality and authenticity. So if I'm doing and I'm not saying anything, yes, it could be entertaining because hip hop is melodic too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I want to really deliver a message like Story Luka, which can save people's lives,
yeah.
I can't do it with Luka. I can't do that. Like that's right?
Yeah.
I really have to put you into context in a language that we're going to both understand. Like whenever you think doing that thing, think about this.
Yeah.
How do you get the context I'm talking about? So comes a Kendrick Lamar who is like, the bars are back. I know people hate people who are smart.
Yeah.
And which is the problem, general problem of hip hop UG or hip hop is actually hip hop in general is that we have very few people who a fool despises knowledge. Hip hop is knowledge in its most potent, concentrated form.
Yeah.
That for you to actually really enjoy this culture, you need to triangulate so many forms of information.
Yeah.
Abantu abatayagala kulowooza ng'emitwe gyabwe balowooza awulira kimuwadde obuzibu. Hip hop abatawanya. So they say, ebyo biba byakulowooza nnyo twagala binene ebyoyitamu obukola ki obuyisi. And that's the problem that those people abasiru bafuuse the ratio of abasiru to abagezi. Abasiru kati basinga abagezi obungi. So bakitwalire no nti twagala binene ebyangu. So a song like example gyenkuwadde that if I want to say omusajja o story ya Luka that if bagala kati binene biri more just entertaining than what's the content? Can I use hip hop to actually drive a force and plant a forest?
Yeah.
And explain to you that amazzi gonywa ebibira byogiramu emmere yonna gy'olya erina gy'eva gye bagirimira ettaka eryo okubeera nga liri pure, so we can't just dump batteries. I can use the poem to do that. That means that I'm going to use the information that I have to put that in song form and deliver this message to you. If I'm talking about why black people don't need to just think about money, right? When they're trying to think about what's going to save them. Because I want to sing about as long as I get this money, fuck how many niggas I kill. But a Kendrick Lamar is going to tell you that very person you're killing could have been the person saving you.
Yeah.
So we need people who draw that large picture. You need people who draw a large picture in order to benefit fully from this hip hop thing.
Yeah.
But people like Wayne, people like Breakback Jagamba, just pop your pills. For me, I'm good. I live in a mansion. Fuck everybody else. And then Abasiru will never gambe. Hey, auntie, for me, I only want the music that does bam, bam, bam. But not all the music is supposed to be like that. And even Kendrick can give you party music. Artists like that can give, J. Cole can give you party music. But at the end of the day, he's going to tell you, bro, I'm tired of seeing young rappers die. Like before you even know the guy's music, the guy gets shot for the things that he's doing on TikTok or social media just for clout.
Yeah.
But there are very like high rates of black on black violence. Not let me just call it black on black. But teenagers in the US are killing themselves over trying to be a rapper. Just for an opportunity to blow up. These kids die. It's real. He needs a rapper like J. Cole to articulate that. He's not going to say it in a song which is like a gunshot. He needs to be the type of rapper who's going to break that down into a concept and then show you that even where the violence comes from and the guns that are placed in your hands, there's a system that actually keeps that in place to keep you down.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that that type of music is back. And that, not that it's just back, but that there is a place for it. Because Balibagala, also there's no content music. But now I'm glad that it's back in the forefront. And we're talking about top 10 lyricists. Those are the top 10 lyricists you're going to find. J. Cole, Drake, or Chiraba.
Yeah.
J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Right now they're our top tier. They're big three.
Yeah.
But Future is also there. But Future is going to tell you about lean, being toxic. You're going to enjoy that shit in a club. But bro, at the end of the day, Future's whole discography, why is there much? What's again, right? 6 albums, 12 albums deep. What have you taken out of Future's discography?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that real bars are back.
And it's funny because Charlemagne was like, yo, Future, you're here talking, but Kendrick was on your track. You had this before anybody had it. And you went back home and you waited for it to come out to start saying Big Three, there ain't no Big Three without me and stuff like that.
But I've ever met Future in a very, very embarrassing way. In a very, very embarrassing way.
Yeah.
I was with a friend of mine who is an actress that I won't mention.
Yeah.
So we're in the lobby of a hotel. It's called, how am I forgetting the name? Waldorf Astoria.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So we're in the lobby and I'm waiting for her to come down, right?
Yeah.
So while we were in motoka, was it Wokira? So it was like a very big night in Hollywood because everybody with the name was showing up. So as I was there, Gabrielle Union came through with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
And she was like, hello, she was like very cordial. But when I saw Future, I found out.
Yeah.
I like Mr. Hendrix. And he just looked at me like this. And he looked back. And he waited for his ride.
Yeah.
And a very badass chick came through. And they went away. I'm like, hey man, this is like some real rapper shit. I bet in that bag he had was just maybe ones and he was heading to like a strip club or something. So that was embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
But long story long, I was like, I just found out. I was on a happy tip too because I was going to a party of the elites. Which they get.
Yeah.
And I was dressed up and right after motoka yenge again, hey, also my SUV pulled up, they were to picking and nothing together.
Yeah.
But that's Future. But that's Future. That's how Future is.
Yeah.
I think another time I saw Future was at a club. This time he was like hosting the night.
Yeah.
He was hosting a night, so we are at the Mandrian. It's on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
There's a pool, a very beautiful view. So we are all like summered out.
Yeah.
Drinks, but at the sun, tuli mungato, shorts, but it's in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
But this is the very first time I ever saw somebody rolling with about 50 people.
Yeah.
You get me? So he's tall. By then he had like all blonde hair, and when he came through, they made a mountain of people. It looked like it was a mountain of people.
Mm.
And Future was drinking off the bottle as usual, and he was hosting. He was performing some of his tracks.
Mm.
So I've seen Future 2 times, but I should tell you that from every time that I've seen him, the brother's drip is on point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of him as a hip hop artist. But if I were to compare Kendrick Lamar, the way I like Kendrick Lamar or a Nas, Future is trash. Musically, drip wise, cultural influence. But if I'm to compare discography wise and whose show I would go for, Lil Wayne and Future are in the same category. Nas, Kendrick, J. Cole, Kanye, Drake, that's another tier of rapper that I would want to attend and be in the presence of them doing a concert.
Yeah. So speaking of lawsuits, of course our man probably would say, God willing, it could be out. That's Diddy. Because the judge was like...
Diddy's coming out?
The judge said he's thinking about it. So probably giving it a...
Could you put on some AC? I'm getting hot.
A window. Or, yeah.
Oh. Now, please go on.
Yeah. So... Because allegedly the same case, a case similar to his...
Yeah.
that, you know, was to a white man. So he was like, why give the white man bail if the scenario is still the same.
When they did lie, still.
You understand?
Let me not crack all these jokes because.
Yeah, so the judge was like, well, you know, because he came out and he's the one who came out and, you know, cautioned that. So it was like, well.
Oh, it was the same judge who was on top on this case or a different judge?
Yeah, I think, no, you know, there were several judges.
Yeah.
So, you know, one came and questioned it. So the other came in and was like, if that's the case, then I should be on table and I should think about it because it would really be unfair.
It's ridiculous that a man offered $50 million, $50 million to be granted bail.
Yeah.
And he's a father of kids. Private jet is grounded, probably it's like have the passport too. Like he deserves bail. Like it's guilty until proven, no, it's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Diddy is not going to run, but he deserves bail, right?
Yeah.
But on the prosecution side, they're saying that Diddy might, because so many cases are accusing him of trying to intimidate witnesses, right? They're afraid that if he comes out, he's going to have the ability to make phone calls and make moves on some mafia shit, intimidate people. I don't know who is correct, but America has a history of overly demonizing black men. I'm not saying Diddy is innocent, because nowadays you have to be really. People no longer walk and chew gum. So I really have to say, I'm not defending Diddy, but I'm just saying if there are similar cases, there shouldn't be preferential treatment to other people of different shades.
Yeah, sure thing. And all that, of course, we all know the Diddy story came after, you know, he filed a lawsuit against, you know,
Diageo.
Yeah. So in the same sense, Kendrick, you know, Drake per se. Drake sued UMG over Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. And he makes the second legal move against UMG alleging defamation over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us.
Yeah.
And, you know, hip-hop artists usually drop bangers and not lawsuits.
Yes.
But Drake has now filed a second legal
I saw somebody who said
it against
instead of when Kendrick dropped the video for Squabble Up, Drake was like, man, this lawyer up.
You have to lawyer up.
But what surprises me is that we are at a point in hip hop where an answer to a rap battle is a lawsuit. Like, come on. This is not the antithesis of hip hop is that. Hip hop is built on F the police, doing that's the attitude. Much as so many other rappers work with police people, and actually so many police officers have sons who are rappers.
Yeah.
People don't know this. But the attitude has always been that it's like, let me put it this way. What Drake has done is, if we enter a ring and we fight, and I beat you inside the ring, why should you arrest me outside of the boxing ring? So hip hop is like that, and actually it shows how out of touch with the culture Drake is, right? Because if you have never watched a URL battle, worse things than being a pedophile have been said about people.
Yeah.
During a rap battle. But we all know this is just for fun, shits and giggles. It's part of the game. Nobody really thinks Drake is a pedophile. I don't believe Drake is a pedophile. But if someone used that angle and made people believe it in a rap battle, yeah, of course. That's what hip hop is. It's supposed to be how many tools do you have that you can throw at this person. So if it's about reality, then Kendrick Lamar has the right to sue. You called him a wife beater.
Yeah.
And by the way, during this whole battle, Kendrick kept on telling Drake, let's not soil each other's names, right? Let's just keep it on a friendly fade. A friendly fade means that it's where you see people slap boxing and they laugh about it, go and do whatever.
Yeah.
But Drake kept on going, no, your son was fathered by... You can't talk about somebody's family like that and expect... When you do that, all bets are off.
Yeah.
All bets are off. I'm coming after your man, I'm coming after your kids.
It is what it is.
It is what it is now. It
is up.
And usually in hip-hop, sadly, that's where blood gets spilled, whenever you get there.
Yeah.
When Tupac crossed that boundary into, I fucked your wife.
You know.
Blood had to be spilled.
Yeah.
When Jay-Z said he fucked Nas's baby mother and left the condoms in the baby seat, even Jay-Z's mother was like, what? What did you say you did? And that's why he lost the battle to so many people. Actually, many people don't know this, but Jay-Z, besides Ether being fire, Jay-Z lost the battle when he did Super Ugly, because he did the weakest reply on a whack beat with the weakest, disses, like you fucked somebody's baby mama and left the condom in the baby seat. That's similar to what Drake did of your children are your managers, your chegeya.
Yeah.
There's some boundaries, like it's like almost like honor among men. Even in the rap culture of a battle, even in the battle where people say the nastiest things, because I remember battle, I think it was DNA versus somebody, and somebody was talking about how DNA's mother, who's in a wheelchair, how he was going to F her. And all of us were like, oh my God. But DNA's recovery was masterful. And as rappers, this is one of those things where you're not a violent person, but you enjoy action movies.
Yeah.
That is how rappers enjoy battle music. Nobody actually believes any of that shit. Actually, it's actually like surprising to me that people take it out of the ring, and that's what it should be. The professional battle rappers, they're going to look at you with this straight face. Turn this way when they buy. Sometimes even the buy is too hard that your opponent is like, wow. If you enjoy battle rap, if you are a part of the culture, this has been the biggest criticism of Drake. It's not that he doesn't make good music. It's not that he's not consistent. But it is that in the time that Drake has been the king of hip-hop, because there have been eras where people have been kings, right?
Yeah.
In the era where Drake has been the king or the leading figure of hip-hop, it seems like the music has suffered greatly in terms of quality, and that it has strayed so far from the essentials of what a hip-hop album is or who a hip-hop artist is. It seems like the labels on top have just been pushing this thing called Drake in our faces, whether the song was good or whether the song was bad. And realize that I say the word push to arrive at what you asked me before.
Yeah.
So record labels, Drake was going to do a Guy's Plan, and that's a smash hit, undeniable. Which take it.
Yeah.
Still, the label is going to put a marketing budget behind it. What was the marketing budget for that video? Drake said it was around 99. It was almost $1 million.
Yeah,
and Drake being a genius at marketing, that budget does not come from Drake's pockets of $1 million. Nsimbi be Uganda. That budget comes from the very label is suing to create such a video so that they can market it.
Yeah.
So the criticism that Drake does not understand the culture comes from that your answer is to sue. It comes from Drake, you wore blackface. As a mixed child, most mixed children identify with their black self. Drake has never voiced anything in defense of black people, even during Black Lives Matter. Whereas another person who is mixed, who is a J. Cole, right? Yeah. You see how vocal. This is the difference in how they both approach things.
Yeah, just a second.
Yes. We lost something.
Yeah, it stopped. So.
When did we stop? What the recording? No, you back up.
Yeah, good enough.
We're back.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it had stopped before.
Yeah, no, cool. We'll patch it up because it's a short one.
Sound.
Yeah.
Okay. So where was I? We had like a technical glitch there. That from blackface.
Yeah.
To using your dad as a prop. Right?
Yeah.
Drake has made the wrong moves at each. Drake lost the battle with most people. Or what showed that it is not a way of the culture, which is Kendrick's way of saying that Drake is pushed in front of people. Drake, by saying, I'm what the culture is feeling, is because it's saying your record label is pushing you while pushing the real authentic artists out.
Yeah.
Whichever. And it's not said that Drake is not capable of creating the music that can empower people. But Drake creates music for emotional women, right?
Yeah.
And teenagers popping pills. Whichever.
Yeah.
So there was a time when if you would go to Spotify, every playlist face, you know, when we're promoting music, sometimes you holler at your distributor and you're like, on this playlist, put my face.
Yeah.
Like if you go to hottest tracks in Kampala, if your face is the first one there, it promotes your song more. There was a time when for every mood on Spotify, it was Drake's face.
Yeah.
Right? There were times when Drake was dropping mid-albums, but it was Drake #1 every time. And you're like, how did this song make? I understand, Kiki, do you love me? That was a smash. God's Plan, smash. But there are some songs which are like really mid, and they were telling us that this is the hottest record out there. When kids like Corday were dropping hits.
Yeah.
So, what Drake is accusing UMG of, right? They have been doing that his whole career. Who gives a fuck if they did it for Kendrick? Kendrick is playing the same game now you're playing.
Yeah.
Because he knew that in order for me to go against the machine which you represent, right? I'm going to play the same game you're playing. I'm going to go to the internet, I'm going to plant headlines, I'm also going to use bots.
Yeah.
We are in the era where all those numbers are cooked. Previous Scot was talking about how we sold over 500,000 records. And we're all like, come on. In Uganda, so I just put out a new video. And it's all organic views. But to so many people who buy bots, they don't respect organic views. That's why when you see that all these people who buy inorganic views when they go out on tour, the seats are empty. While people like David Lutalo and Mr. Semakula, who are not as active on social media, when they do something, people show up and pay money. I watch together. Yeah. There's a difference there. So, Drake suing Kendrick Lamar, it's funny, but I also understand it. He's not really cognizant with the culture, and the people around him are not giving him the best advice.
Yeah.
And what's ironic is that the name of the company he's using to sue is called Frozen Moments. That's so Drake. That's a very trolling thing to do. But it also shows you the games that major artists play in order to keep other artists down. So before the song Like That came out, the original with Future, Drake had attempted to stop that song from going into major distribution. Mm-hmm. That means there are artists with the power to even stop smaller labels from distributing.
Yeah.
This is the game Drake has always been playing. So he's crying foul that now somebody is doing the same thing to him. Artists always inflate numbers, from Taylor Swift to everybody. All these artists inflate numbers, their first sales week numbers. And they do this because Spotify, Apple Music, I did a thing about this. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all these distribution DSPs are owned by labels. So it's a label calling its hookup to say my artist is coming up, boost the numbers. It has always worked for Drake.
Yeah.
It had worked for Kendrick Lamar. But the thing is, if a song is bad, people will not gravitate to it. But Like That did not even need to be pushed. It was a smash.
Yeah.
Just the same way Drake didn't need to push God's Plan or Left Foot Slide. It's a hit. It's a bop. So we'll see where this ends. But I think he's doing all of this to prevent Kendrick Lamar from calling him a pedophile on the Super Bowl stage. He's trying to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, coincidentally, Dedrick Devon Williams appealed his case and brought Drake back as a potential suspect.
Who is that?
Dedrick, the one who was accused of triple X detention.
Is this real?
Yeah.
I know nothing about that. All I know is that I love. Also, X was another person that had beef with Drake. People don't know this.
Yeah.
But he's also was a very, very talented young artist.
Yeah.
Very extremely talented.
Yeah.
When I see people dyeing their hair blonde, I'm like, you picked that from X.
Yeah. So literally, this coincidentally, that's why I said coincidentally, it came out after Drake suing UMG. So that's why I brought back the other scenario, Eddy and Diageo.
Also to be fair, enjovu bwe zirwana mu Luganda tugamba enjovu bwe zirwana omuddo gwe gukola ki gwe gusuffering.
Yeah.
It is a saying, an African proverb that says that when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers.
Yeah.
Some people might just be looking at this as a Drake versus Drake battle. But it's much bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's again the major label, the machine, turning against the artist. It's artist versus machine, which has also been a battle. There are several battles happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It's what Prince was fighting for against his label.
Yeah.
It's what Michael Jackson was fighting for against his label. When the labels are fighting with you as an artist, they're going to use the police, because hip hop police is also there to keep artists in jail when their labels are trying to renegotiate terms of their labels for their masters. We all know this.
Yeah.
Artists are sent to jail because the labels are working with police.
Yeah.
So again, for a case like that coming up, that might be Lucien Grange, the chairman of Universal Music Group, trying to prevent Drake from going further with this lawsuit. It's the big boys, by the way. It's the big boys fighting. When the big boys are fighting, they use the media so well, right? And they will bring back anything in your past to try to undermine you. So here we're looking at Universal Music Group trying to undermine Drake.
Yeah.
It was the same way. Diageo is trying to undermine Diddy. Even for Jay-Z. Every time Jay-Z was trying to do something, they brought back MIA.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, there's always something. R. Kelly, they made money from all of R. Kelly's music and all his whole catalog. And then when he's trying to renegotiate, that's when they bring back his cases from the past. Yeah. And they know how to play the game so well. They called Michael Jackson a pedophile. They called whatever. Cosby is a what? A sex predator. Diddy is a,
Oh,
I know these black men also don't help themselves. Like there's always that to find on them. I don't know, for some reason.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you think Jonathan Major stands a chance to, gain back his star power? Because the ex-girlfriend dropped the charges against him.
I think that was a very big payday
for him.
But maybe also the lady let go.
Yeah.
I think I empathize with both sides. I think Jonathan Majors might have fallen out of love.
Yeah.
And I think for the lady, it took time for her to get over him.
Yeah.
Because there's something which you can't really undermine when the people who are there for you before you become a star, right?
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of man to stay with that woman.
Yeah.
It takes a special kind of woman to stay with that man, right?
Yeah.
And usually the breakups are nasty.
Yeah.
It's LG.
Who's calling?
He wants play the new or him. I don't know.
Yeah, we're recording though. Yeah.
So just a few minutes.
Few minutes. He's here?
Yeah, he's here to get.
Oh, yeah, bring him in. Let him come in. Yeah, where were we?
Yeah, Jonathan Major.
I want you to leave some of these things in because they're so natural.
Yeah.
So okay, Jonathan Majors. Those breakups are usually nasty because there's a lot invested and there's a lot of emotion attached in and by both sides into this thing, this relationship, this special thing that we are building. So many sacrifices are made. So I understand her pain. That even in accusing him of all these things and the lawsuit, it might have been the wrath of a woman scorned.
Yeah.
You get me? But I hope there is redemption and understanding for both sides and that they land on a mutual space. Both of them, I'm sure, are beautiful, amazing people. And I hate to see breakups. I'm a love at heart. I'm a fan of love. I love love.
Yeah.
I love to see it prosper. Even when people are no longer together, you hope for friendship, better understanding, because relationships shouldn't be prisons.
Yeah.
If you're falling out of love, you should be able to sit on a table. But it's never that mutual. They say the wrath Hell hath no fury like the wrath of a woman scorned.
Yeah.
You get me? And we've also seen men, like Nicki Minaj when she first broke up with the person who brought her in the industry, nasty. You get me? Like we've seen all these breakups. Offset and Cardi B, nasty.
Yeah.
Kanye and Kim, nasty.
Yeah.
Or Kanye and his very first girlfriend, nasty breakup. So, yeah, I hope he finds redemption because we have seen so many, again, people like Robert Downing Jr. have done worse throughout their careers, and their parent companies have found ways of taking them to rehab, finding help, and bringing them back. He's a talented actor, very young, and I think he deserves a second chance.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we've come to an end of this session.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a great pleasure. So we pick up from there next time.